The top stories tonight in Y News. President Rodrigo Duterte is considering imposing a total ban on the use of firecrackers during year-end festivities.
The Valenzuela city government says it will lift the suspension against the NLEX operators once the conditions it set are met.
Persons of interest behind the attack in Datubiang, Maguindanao last week. President Rodrigo Duterte wants state-run hospitals to provide free COVID-19 tests to Filipinos.
90-year-old woman became the first patient to receive Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine in the United Kingdom.
And doctors warn of a syndrome that is a potential medical problem linked to this time of year. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, December 8, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado.
Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the country and in other parts of the world. I'm Angelo Castro III.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media accounts and our website, untvweb.com. I am William Theo.
First in the news, President Duterte is considering totally banning the use of fireworks in 2021. President Duterte said that it is possible to spend the holidays without fireworks, citing Davao City as an example. Rosalie Cons will tell us why.
Few months left before his term ends in 2022. President Rodrigo Duterte wants a total firecracker ban in the whole country. In various years within his term, he has repeatedly mentioned about this. And last night, he revealed that he will totally ban firecrackers in 2021. He said he will release an order on this to protect public safety and health.
I am putting you on warning na baka by mid-year, I will issue the necessary document banning totally banning paputok. Kagaya sa amin.
In June 2017, President Duterte signed Executive Order No. 28 to regulate or limit the use of firecracker and other pyrotechnic devices. According to Malacanang, the president's statement serves as a warning for those who will lose their job because of the pending total firecracker ban.
Binigyan na ng warning ng presidente, humanap na kayo ng ibang hanap buhay dahil sa susunod na taon, magkakaroon na tayo ng absolute firecrackers ban.
In Davao City, where once served as mayor, a ban on purchase of firecrackers and pyrotechnics has been in effect for 18 years now. Also, the president warned of serious penalties against indiscriminate firing during the New Year festivities, as many innocent lives are placed at risk of being hit by stray bullets. He said he will ask Congress to pass a bill addressing the matter.
I will make it a very serious offense. If not, I'll go to Congress.
Every year, there are victims of stray bullet and even deaths due to celebratory gunfire. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, UNTV has been a longtime advocate of firecracker ban, especially during year-end festivities. The station has been consistent in encouraging the public to refrain from purchasing and using firecrackers to protect them from any incidents that could cause harm and loss of lives.
Meanwhile, President Rodrigo Duterte wants the government to shoulder the cost for coronavirus disease 2019 tests in government health centers. The president also appealed to hotel owners to offer their establishments to accommodate COVID-19 patients who are in need of help. Rosalie Cos explains why.
President Rodrigo Duterte directed Health Secretary Francisco Duque III to study if the public can avail free COVID-19 tests by next year. Secretary Duque reported that through Executive Order Number 118, the government has been able to set a price cap for COVID-19 testing in the country, both in public and private laboratories. Reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction or RT-PCR test price in private laboratories is set at 4,500 to 5,000 pesos, while 3,800 pesos in public testing centers.
Tingnan ko kung may pera at magbili na lang tayo in all government hospitals or in health centers. Mabigay natin libre. Free of charge. Target the first or second quarter if you can have a program where I can review and look for the money.
Duque assured that PhilHealth continues to shoulder the test for its members, with the highest amount it paid for a single RT-PCR test reaching 3,409 pesos. Meanwhile, the chief executive also expressed desire to utilize vacant hotel, inns, and even motels as quarantine facilities. In relation to this, he ordered the local government units to determine particular establishments in their areas which can house COVID-19 patients.
Arrange with the hotels na pwede mo munang gamitin lalo na sa panahon na ito. And to the owners of hotels, inns, motel maybe kung wala nang iba, nagulang, to accommodate the Filipinos who are in need of help. I will assume the full responsibility of paying you.
The president also appealed to public to refrain from holding holiday festivities or big gatherings to prevent transmission of coronavirus disease.
Ngayon pa lang, we are saying sorry that there will be a curtailment of so many things that you have been used to during Christmas time. Would you be kind enough just to skip the not really frivolous but the festivities? Iwasan na muna ninyo. You avoid it because it is for your own good and for the good of the community.
The chief executive reiterated that the government cannot control the people, but it has to implement restrictions for the good of the country. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, cases of coronavirus disease 2019 in the Philippines grew to 442,785 after the Department of Health recorded 1,400 new cases today. A total of 139 patients recovered from disease, bringing the nationwide recovery to 408,790. 98 fatalities were reported, taking the death toll to 8,670. According to the latest case bulletin, the province of Benguet recorded the highest new confirmed cases with 101, followed by Davao City with 90, Quezon City with 82, Rizal with 75, and Laguna with 56.
The Department of Education, or DepEd, has announced that the last day of classes for the first quarter of the school year 2020 to 2021 will be on December 12, 2020. DepEd said kindergarten to grade 12 public school students nationwide would have their holiday break on December 19. Teachers, meanwhile, may have their in-service training or inset week from December 14 to 19. Classes are expected to resume on January 4, 2021. The schedule is based on DepEd Order Number 30, series of 2020, signed by Education Secretary Leonor Briones in October 2020. The UK's mass coronavirus vaccination program, dubbed as the V-Day, has officially begun, with a drug developed by Pfizer and BioNTech injected into the shoulder of a 90-year-old grandmother. Jovic Bermas will tell us why live. Yes, Jovic, go ahead.
Diego, Margaret Keenan, a 90-year-old grandmother from Britain, has become the first person in the world to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine outside of a trial following its rapid clinical approval. An early riser, Keenan, received the jab at her local hospital in Coventry, Central England on Tuesday morning, a week before she turns 91. The UK began rolling out the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech on Tuesday, the first Western country to start vaccinating its general population in what was hailed as a decisive watershed in defeating the coronavirus. In the UK, the occasion has been dubbed V-Day. Health Secretary Matt Hancock, usually a reserved figure, said he felt emotional, adding that 70 hospitals in the country would start the vaccine program. NHS England boss Simon Stevens said vaccinations would continue at least until next spring and warned people to be very careful in the meantime. The vaccine could not arrive soon enough for the UK, which has more than 61,000 COVID-19 related deaths, more than any other country has reported in Europe. The UK has more than 1.7 million cases. The global immunization program is expected to gain momentum as more vaccines win approval. Diego?
Jovic, what will the Filipinos residing there in UK need to expect following the start of this mass vaccination program?
Diego, UK public health officials are asking the public to be patient because only those who are most at risk from COVID-19 will be vaccinated in the early stages. Medical staff will contact patients to arrange appointments, and most will have to wait until next year before there is enough vaccine to expand the program. The first 800,000 doses are going to people more than 80 years of age who are either hospitalized or already have outpatient appointments scheduled, along with nursing home workers. Others will have to wait their turn. Meanwhile, Diego, it is also a historic moment for all the Filipinos here in the United Kingdom. May Parsons, the nurse who had the honor of administering the first COVID-19 vaccine to 90-year-old Margaret Keenan, is a British Filipino. May Parsons has been working at the Coventry Hospital NHS Trust for 17 years. Diego?
Thank you for that report. Jovic Bermas reporting live from London, United Kingdom.
A day after suspending the business permit of the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian is calling its operator, the Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, to present a concrete plan to resolve issues connected to the RFID system. Joan Nano explains why.
7 NLEX toll plazas within Valenzuela City were not able to collect toll from motorists since last night as Mayor Rex Gatchalian suspends the business permit of the expressway. The suspension covers toll collection within Karuhatan Mindanao Avenue, Karuhatan Harbor Link, Karuhatan MacArthur Highway Sub-Exit, Mindanao Avenue Toll Plaza, Paso de Blas north and southbound, and even Lawang Bato toll booth. According to Mayor Gatchalian, the suspension has no definite timeline as it is up to NLEX management as to when will the suspension be lifted depending on the proposal of their action plan.
Ang sa akin lang, ayusin nila yan. Kung inayos nila bukas, di malilift natin bukas. Kung patatagalin nila, tatagal rin yung lifting.
Meanwhile, NLEX Corporation reiterates that they have submitted a reply with Mayor Gatchalian, but still they failed to meet his demand. Among the recommendations was to designate more installation and reloading sites of RFIDs in order to avoid traffic buildup within the toll plazas leading to Valenzuela City. They are also planning to install RFID antennas and handheld sensors within Karuhatan toll plazas in order to read the RFIDs faster. They will also intensify their campaign with the replacement of old and defective RFID stickers and is also eyeing to get a third-party audit team that will review their system to come up with some developments and upgrades. The NLEX management is also looking to possible redesigning and conduct major expansion project within Karuhatan Interchange.
Pareho naman po yung layunin namin, ayusin po yung system na hindi na po nangyayari yung mga malaking abala only because of traffic management. Para sa amin, kinakailangan talaga magtulong-tulong so that hindi na po tumagal ito.
On the other hand, Mayor Gatchalian reiterates that the city is looking for a concrete plan and a long-term solution to the problem in order to resolve the issue.
Ang mensahe ko lang, ang pamahalaan lungsod ng Valenzuela, ang inyong lokal na pamahalaan, patuloy na maghahanap ng paraan para maging permanente ang solusyon na ilalabas sa NLEX. Hindi ho natin hayaan na nakabitin lang sa suspension. Alam natin hindi sustainable to. We need a long-term, permanent solution dahil pang matagalan na tong new normal na setup.
NLEX officials are set to meet Mayor Gatchalian tomorrow and they are hopeful to resolve this matter at the soonest possible time. Joanne Naro, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
A lawmaker, meanwhile, wants to launch an inquiry on the compliance of toll operators with their concession agreements following the issues on the implementation of cashless toll collection system. Harleen Delgado tells us why.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian wants the Senate to review the concession deals of toll operators with the government due to numerous issues surrounding the full implementation of 100% cashless transactions since December 1. This comes after his brother, Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian, suspended the business permit of North Luzon Expressway or NLEX after it failed to address the problems in its radio frequency identification or RFID system, which caused heavy traffic in parts of the city. According to the senator, there is a need for a review to check if the toll collection systems of toll operators conform with the minimum performance standards under their concession agreements or toll operation certificates. The senator also wants to review the powers and functions of the Toll Regulatory Board or TRB, which regulates all toll roads in the country. Gatchalian adds the TRB should implement a toll holiday following issues on RFID system, including its defective sensors, which worsened the traffic situation in expressways. The senator noted that even the NLEX operator, the Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation, already acknowledged the glitches in their system. The MPTC has vowed to resolve the system glitches as soon as possible to improve its operations and remedy the traffic issues. The UNTV News has tried to reach the TRB for comment, but the board has yet to respond. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Rodrigo Duterte has ruled out declaring any ceasefire with the communist rebel group and vowed to destroy them over their alleged atrocities. Rosalie Cos explains why.
There will be no ceasefire ever again under my term ko pagka-presidente. For all intents and purposes, yung ceasefire is dead.
President Rodrigo Duterte has no plans to deal again with the communist rebels in the country for the rest of his term. The president made the remarks after the Armed Forces of the Philippines said that it would not recommend a holiday ceasefire with the Reds due to their lack of sincerity and continued crimes. The president also warned of naming all members of the National Democratic Front, the umbrella group of the leftist organizations, as well as the Legal Front organizations.
I am identifying you because I have seen the records. You are really communists. And I said, I have pointed out, we are not only tagging you, that's a light, we are identifying you.
Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines thanked the president for approving their recommendation. AFP spokesperson Major General Edgar Arevalo said the armed wing of the Communist Party of the Philippines showed incapacity for sincerity and for being unfaithful to a covenant many times in the past. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The United Nations, or UN, has offered its technical assistance on the implementation of the controversial Republic Act 11479, otherwise known as the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020. Dante Amento tells us why.
Human rights under the anti-terrorism law and its implementing rules and regulations, or IRR, will be discussed tomorrow on the DOJ Human Rights Summit. This is to clarify allegedly vague provisions and safeguard measures through the IRR in order to protect human rights. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara assures that the law respects political and civil rights.
These safeguards, among other measures, have been included in the implementing rules to ensure that the anti-terrorism law serves its purpose without invading the cherished rights and prerogatives of a people under a functioning democracy.
Different government agencies will join the discussion, including the Human Rights Affairs Office of the Philippine National Police and representative from the United Nations or UN. Secretary Guevara says the United Nations, through its resident coordinator Gustavo Gonzalez, has offered technical assistance to ensure that the anti-terrorism rules complied with the tenets of human rights. But Guevara clarifies the UN simply wants the country to see the best practices worldwide concerning human rights that would help the Philippines.
We take this opportunity to thank the United Nations through the UN Resident Coordinator for their offer of technical assistance in the undertaking to ensure that the anti-terrorism rules conform to the fundamental tenets of human rights laws.
Guevara said while the ATA of 2020 was intended to quell terrorism and armed conflict, its IRR was designed to protect the people's rights and liberties. Some 30 petitions were filed at the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the Anti-Terrorism Act. Petitioners want to stop the implementation of the law that allegedly prone to abuse by the authorities and violations of human rights. Dantiamento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The police chief of Datupiang town in Maguindanao was relieved after members of the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters burned police patrol vehicle and shot buildings with assault rifles last week. Meanwhile, the PNP now has 3 persons of interest who are possibly behind the harassment incident. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
The PNP Board of Inquiry is still gathering additional evidences and statements from witnesses on the attack in Datupiang, Maguindanao last week. BOI Chairman Police Major General Marnie Marcos says they will submit the result of their investigation to the Chief PNP next week. The BOI investigation will be focusing on the possible operational and tactical lapses in the PNP operational procedures and the existing policies, to identify the gaps and the areas that need improvements to prevent similar incident from happening in the future.
Actually, as per instruction of the Chief PNP, when that incident happened last week, he gave us a timeline until December 9. But this morning, when I had a meeting with him, I requested for a few days to wrap it up, and we will submit as soon as possible.
SINAS also confirmed that Captain Israel Bayona, Chief of Police in Datupiang town, was temporarily relieved from his duties following the incident as the investigation continues. The PNP chief said Bayona will be reinstated once the probe and his stress debriefing are over.
So lahat na na-involved na police doon ay in-undergo namin ng stress debriefing. After nung result ng BOI, ay ibabalik po namin siya at after siya mag-undergo ng stress briefing. I think he has done his best, no? At marami po siyang actions. Maganda yung leadership niya.
SINAS also says the group of Ustads Ismael Abubakar Elias Bungos, Muhodin Animbang Indong Elias Commander Karyalan of BIFF, and Abu Turaife of Dawla Islamia are among the persons of interest. Last Thursday night, around 50 militants from the BIFF harassed the police station in Barangay Poblacion and burned a police mobile before they fled the scene. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on the right side of your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook.
More than 27,000 overseas and local job opportunities are being offered initially by the Labor Department in online jobs fair starting this week. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
As the economy rebounds and some countries are gradually opening their economies, the Department of Labor and Employment invited job seekers to take advantage of the online job fair, which offers a wide range of local and overseas vacancies from more than 600 domestic companies and 15 licensed recruitment agencies. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said this is an opportunity for overseas Filipino and local workers whose jobs were affected by the pandemic.
We are talking of 27,000 na workers, karamihan dyan sa BPO. Maraming kailangan na call center agents.
For overseas jobs, most vacancies are for factory workers, nurses, nursing aides, and care workers. There are also vacancies for engineers, CAD operators, telecommunications rigging technicians, maintenance technicians, carpenters, foremen, laborers, and building cleaning workers. Also offered are job vacancies for supervisor, physical fitness coach, cake decorator, cook, food server, restaurant worker, waiter, waitress, counter service staff, and service staff. Destinations are countries in Middle East, Asia, and in New Zealand, Germany, Micronesia, and Palau. Job seekers are advised to be ready with the digital copies of their resume or curriculum vitae and other application requirements such as certificate of employment for the formerly employed, diploma, and transcript of records. To access the online job fair on December 10 and 11, applicants may visit the POEA website at www.poea.gov.ph. Meanwhile, DOLE distributes payouts in different parts of the country and abroad today to help workers affected by the pandemic. The agency already helped more than 2 million workers through its programs that addresses the effect of pandemic.
Ang mga workers natin are the muscles of our economy. So kailangan, pag nadi-display sila, kailangan tulungan mo sila. Para bukas sakaling ma-revive yung economy natin, meron tayong babalikan ng mga workers natin.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, here's Maria Latosa reporting live from Perth, Australia.
Good evening, William. President-elect Joe Biden has chosen retired General Lloyd Austin, who oversaw U.S. forces in the Middle East under President Barack Obama, to lead the Pentagon. Austin would be the first black U.S. Secretary of Defense. Sonny Cos will tell us why.
U.S. President-elect Joe Biden continued to announce his choices to join his new administration on January 20. Biden has chosen the would-be first black U.S. Secretary of Defense in retired General Lloyd Austin. Austin, who headed the U.S. Central Command under former President Barack Obama, would be the second Pentagon chief in 4 years to need a waiver from the U.S. Congress since it has been less than the required 7 years since he served. Biden also announced on Monday his choices to head his response team for the raging COVID-19 pandemic in the country as California Attorney General Javier Becerra as his Secretary of Health and Human Services and Massachusetts General Hospital Chief of Infectious Disease Dr. Rochelle Walensky to head the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the country's top expert on infectious disease, was named as Biden chief medical advisor on the virus, while Jeff Zients, an economic advisor, was installed as coronavirus czar to oversee the operation to distribute hundreds of millions of doses of new vaccine. Sonicos, UNTV News and Rescue, USA. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The United States has imposed financial sanctions and a travel ban on 14 Chinese officials over their alleged role in Beijing's disqualification last month of elected opposition legislations in Hong Kong. The move targeted the vice chairpersons of the National People's Congress Standing Committee, or NPCSC, the top decision-making body of the Chinese legislature. The sanctions prohibit the 14 individuals and their immediate members from traveling to the United States. Any assets the officials might have within the United States will be blocked, and U.S. individuals and companies will be banned from dealing with them. Meanwhile, India's health authorities are now investigating pesticides after a mystery illness with the symptoms of burning eyes and bouts of seizures has left at least 400 people or 450 people hospitalized and one dead in the city of Eluru. Marvi Delphine will give us the details live. Yes, Marvi, go ahead.
Mariel, over the weekend, hundreds of people, including several children in Eluru, a town in the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh, experienced symptoms ranging from seizures to nausea, and some reportedly foamed at the mouth. Some have also collapsed, and others complained of burning eyes. A 45-year-old man admitted to the Government General Hospital with the symptoms suffered a heart attack and died on Sunday evening, while the hospital has discharged nearly 200 patients after treatment. Specialists from the All India Institute of Medical Sciences have then traveled to the disease-stricken state to determine the cause of the illness, including looking into possible food or water contamination or airborne poisoning. So far, the cause has not been established through blood tests and brain scans, but culture test results and E. coli results are still pending. GVL Narasimha Rao said that poisonous organochlorine substances could be the most likely cause of the disease after talking with experts. The mystery outbreak has increased the burden on the healthcare system in Andhra Pradesh, one of the Indian states worst affected by the coronavirus, with 800,000 active cases. Though India has been hit hard by the virus at 9.68 million cases to date, the world's second highest COVID-19 caseload, the state's health minister Alakali Krishna Srinivas has confirmed that the incident was not linked to the novel coronavirus, as all the patients had tested negative. The state chief minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy visited the government hospital and met patients who were ill, while opposition leader Narashandra Babu Naidu demanded on Twitter an impartial, full-fledged inquiry into the incident, as well as a declaration of health emergency. Mariel?
All right, thank you for that report, Marvi. Mysterious monoliths are suddenly popping in and out of different parts of the globe, and no one knows who or what did it. Early Briones will tell us why live. Yes, Early, good evening.
Mariel, since mid-November, several tall, shiny pillars have been consecutively discovered at different locations around the world without any reason why. Individuals are then left to speculate different theories around their mysterious emergence. On the 18th of November, the first monolith was sighted in a remote part of the desert of Utah, USA, after a helicopter crew of a state official flying over to count sheep noticed an unusual pillar. The said monolith then disappeared on the 27th of November, just a few days after its discovery. Around the same time that the Utah monolith was removed, similar ones were consecutively reported to have appeared in an ancient Romanian fortress on the other side of the globe. One in a Southern California mountain trail, and with the most recent one in Isle of Wight on a White Beach, Netherlands, all of which did not last long either. Niam Culture Heritage official Roxana Jusana, however, have shared similar sentiments in the importance of protecting and preserving archaeological sites. Mariel?
All right, thank you, Early Briones, live from Australia. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. For those watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on the right side of your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Maria Latosa, reporting live from Perth, Australia. With holiday celebrations in full swing, doctors offer a timely warning. Beware of holiday heart syndrome. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
Health experts caution the public of the diseases this holiday season, especially there's an existing pandemic. According to Philippine Heart Association President Dr. Orlando Bugarin, a holiday heart syndrome or an abnormal heart rhythm can happen when people drink alcohol in excess.
Siguraduhin lang po natin na wala po tayong underlying na sakit din po dahil kahit po kaunting amount na sinasabi natin or yung allowed amount na yon na pwede nating inumin. Pero kung tayo po ay meron na pong underlying na sakit, kahit small amount can trigger po yung pag-deteriorate ng kalagayan ng ating situation.
Currently, experts have no data how many patients get the holiday heart syndrome.
Magkaroon ka ng COVID-19 at mahina ang iyong immune system, mahina ang iyong puso, at may history ka na ng stroke before, tapos ikaw ay naninigarilyo, umiinom ng alak. So kumbaga po, mas mataas po talaga ang tsansa na tumaas po ang mga ganitong kaso. But I think siguro maganda po ito na study, lalo na ngayong pandemic. Tapos holiday season, we would look into that po na magkaroon po tayo ng registry.
Experts warn that those who have been experiencing the syndrome are vulnerable to get infected with COVID-19. And once a person with this condition gets COVID-19, he or she may possibly have a severe COVID-19 infection.
Yung vulnerability, of course, pagka sila po ay nagkaroon ng holiday heart syndrome at sila po ay kinapitan pa ng COVID, of course, they are vulnerable to having a severe or more severe course.
The DOH reminds the public this holiday season to moderately consume food and drinks. Along with food intake, people should exercise, especially now that they are often inside their homes, to avoid getting sick amid the pandemic.
We agree with you that we should monitor this kind of activity, especially during the holidays. We know that during the holidays, it's really tempting to eat all of this kind of food and also just staying at home without doing any physical activity. Please be cautious and try to have a healthy lifestyle.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, the head of the National Bureau of Investigation's Counter-Terrorism Division has died of a gunshot wound. According to a report from the Manila Police District, Raul Manguera was found in his office with a gunshot wound in the abdomen at 11:39 p.m. Monday. He was rushed to the Manila Doctors Hospital but was pronounced dead on arrival at 12:02 a.m. Tuesday. The NBI premises were immediately placed on lockdown after the incident. NBI Deputy Director and spokesperson Ferdinand Lavin also said the NBI Director has already ordered a thorough investigation into Manguera's death. And those are the reasons behind the news, December 8, 2020. I am Harleen Delgado.
Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people, we give glory to God.